This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Strap up your headgear and try not to hit the mat too hard. This is Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning.
Facts don't lie. Wrestling is a pretty big deal in the Big Ten, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by Stevens & Smith Construction. Here is your host, Mark Manning.
We called an audible because we had to. DP here on a Takedown Tuesday. This is episode 3, and this the episode 4, and this thing is rolling along. 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman text line if you want to be a part of what we're doing. Got questions for the fellows? Hit us up. It's a simple deal. You can follow on all the streams. You can actually check in on Studio, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo, channel 961 on the cable. So you can follow what's going on. You can see these young men put a face to the headgear. So you can see them when they're just being themselves rather than post-diet, mid-anger, total rage, whatever version of it that we have in play. We want to thank the folks from Smith & Stevens Construction for making this happen. They stepped up and donated to it, which allows us to bring this to you, and then we will make a donation. As a matter of fact, we already have made the donation to Nebraska Wrestling, and then it allows us to add some flavor to these young men, and we want to offer them a chance to be known. You know a bit about them on the mat, but away from the mat, there are always stories, and you don't excel at this level. You don't become a high-caliber recruit and end up in the number 3 program in the country if you don't have a story. You stand on people's shoulders, you have success, you've learned your lessons, and then a discipline that's required in this thing. So it is a special thing to be able to have these two. First of all, let's go to 174. Now, I said this the first time I saw this young man wrestle, I went, the Big Ten is in trouble. The Big Ten is in trouble. Not everybody has the personality and the it factor. But look, Lenny, you enjoy the crowd. You enjoy the energy in the room. So the Husker 174, Lenny Pinto joins us. And then next to him, quite frankly, and I'm open to being corrected on this, but I've said there's some guys up and down this roster, all dogs,
Absolutely.
all
For sure.
but there are silent assassins. Silas just strikes me that he's thinking of ways to hurt people. The Huskers 184. Silas Allred, Takedown Tuesday. Gentlemen, thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you
man.
for having us.
Thank you.
So let's tell the story. Again, texters, you have full permission to shout them out, ask questions if you want. But I'll ask you, I'd like to get the story behind the story. So when did you know, we'll start with you, Lenny. When did you know this was your thing, that wrestling was going to be your thing, and who helped you get here?
Probably say when I was really young, you know, I started like at the very beginning of the beginning. I was like 5 years old. So just getting into it, I was a little bit rougher than most kids, you know, and I wasn't really like soft. Like I didn't complain about, you know, getting a bump on the elbow or a bruise. And that's how I started getting good, was just being tougher than most of the kids. So I started to enjoy it, and I really liked winning. So I just stuck with it. And one thing led to another. Now I'm here.
Gentlemen, let me introduce you to Austin Orman over here, because Austin has Austin, it is interesting, right? I'm going to bring you in here because that is a common thing, right? That we hear them say, I love winning. Like, I love winning. And other sports have issue. It's a common thing with these guys.
The two things I hear most from you guys is I love winning and I don't feel pain. Like something's turned off in your brains, like in the best and craziest way possible. That's what I've heard every week of the show so far.
I think
incredible.
Something to do with like the whole like I love winning thing. I think it really just stems a lot from like the whole like one-on-one sport thing. Like it's just me versus someone else. So like it's just very personal to us, because like if I lose a match, like that's on me and like nobody else. But if I win, it's like
that's on me.
That's from
nobody.
Yeah. So it's just a lot more like appreciated, I feel like.
No, for sure. Like what you put into it, you get out, which is special.
Silas, tell me about this thing. When did you identify that not only was this the thing that you were curious about, but you're good at
it? So my story is a little different than Lenny's. So I was like 5 years old, and we were out to eat in our little small town I grew up. I'm from Indiana, so a really small town in Indiana. And we get approached at this diner by a woman, and she's like, hey, you know, she goes to my mom. She's like, hey, you got some good looking boys. Ever thought about getting them into wrestling? And I'm instantly like, Rey Mysterio, Batista, John Cena, The Rock. Like I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to be that guy. I was pumped up for it. And then I go to practice, and I got hip toss headlocked all practice long. I had tears in my eyes. I was mad about it. But for some reason, I was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get better. I'm going to figure this thing out. So long story short, we get to our first tournament. My brother goes out. He takes third. I go out. I go 0-3 and get headlocked every match. And I was fired up. I was angry. And then for some reason, I was like, I'm going to get really good at this. I'm not going to freaking walk away being a loser. Like, I'm going to figure out how to get good. And I just kind of stuck with it, became part of my life. And when I got to middle school, I really decided that this is what I want to pursue, and dove in head first.
So is it a family thing for both of you? Do you have other people in the family?
Yeah, I got 2 brothers, and they started off wrestling and playing football, and I wanted to be tough like them, so.
Did you play football? Did you play other sports?
Yeah, I played football all the way up until 8th grade, and then my dad, like, he didn't really pressure me about, like, choosing one, but he just told me, like, if you do want to excel, like, in college and stuff, like, you might want to think about choosing one. And I honestly thought I was maybe going to be a little bit too small for football, and I thought wrestling was just more my path, so I just retired from football. I'm not going to say quit because, you know.
Hey, you still got eligibility, and
yeah.
Matt Rule may be calling.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I was 3 inches bigger.
Silas, was this the only sport for you, or did you have other interests?
No, so my dad was actually a really good baseball player. So I played baseball growing up, travel ball and stuff. I played basketball with my buddies for a year. I played football too. But yeah, when I got to 8th grade, I decided that I wanted to dedicate my summers to wrestling. So I stopped playing baseball and did wrestling year round, besides football. And then my sophomore year out was my final season playing football. And I was like, wrestling for sure.
Is that kind of the time? Is that the kind of the fork in the road at 13, 14 where you have to make a decision? Or was it just your time to make that decision?
I don't know. I think it's like I guess like in a young man's life, it's like that, like peak development, right? When you hit that age, it's like, you know, you really start to develop and mature. So then it's like, what are you going to spend your time doing? Are you going to spend your time trying to get strong and training? Like for me, it was, do I spend my time getting strong, putting on size, getting big for wrestling, or do I work on flexibility and like dexterity for baseball? So like that was kind of the fork in the road, I guess, in regards to like development for me and why I made my choice. But I feel like a lot of guys, when they start getting ready to go into high school, is when they really start getting serious about what they want to do for their future.
Through all of it, right? You find things that interest you, but then you have to have support. And wrestling, with all the tournaments and all of the training, it requires, for a teenage young man, it requires a lot of help. So talk to me about your parents and the coaches who helped you stay in line for this dream of yours.
So for me, my parents, super appreciative for them. And I really just kept on realizing it more and more like as I got older. But I did a lot of traveling when I was younger for wrestling, and just driving across the country, going to all kinds of national tournaments. My parents would send me with coaches sometimes when they couldn't make it, and just left and right, I was traveling all over the country, and grew up wrestling with ESYA, which turned into Dark Knights. And this guy, Van Dobish, he produced a lot of really good wrestlers, and give him a lot of the credit for who I became in my wrestling identity. And he really helped us out and created a really strong club of really competitive young wrestlers and took us over the country. And so that was a big help. And my parents too, like they were both working and just sacrificing a lot of time to, help me travel across the country and take me places. And I think that was what actually made me make my choice of wrestling and not football, just because I had already dedicated so much time in my life by the age of literally like 15. It was like that's like what my whole life was dedicated to. So I just kept going with that.
Silas, what about you?
Yeah, very, very similar to Lenny. Like my parents were super involved, especially my dad. Man, we would travel so much. I remember on several occasions I was like, I don't want to go to practice tonight. I'm tired. I got homework. And my dad is like, Silas, let's get in the car, man. We got to go to practice. And we, drive an hour to Indy and get ready for practices. And man, I would be so mad at him. I'd be like, I do not want to do this. I'm about to go get my butt kicked. I'm, in 8th grade wrestling high schoolers. But that just really helped with my development. I had a great club. And yeah, they really helped. They had great guys in there. There's several Division I guys that were in my club, whether it was like staying in state like Purdue. There's one guy who went to North Dakota State. So a lot of really good talent that I was surrounded with and fortunate to be able to develop with. But yeah, I think the biggest shout out that I can give is to my dad, man. He was about it. Like I said, he's really good at baseball. He was a Division I baseball recruit before I made some dumb decisions and lost it. But man, when I was in 8th grade, he was already messaging college coaches, which is nuts.
What position did you play?
No, this is for wrestling.
No, but baseball? When you were playing baseball,
I was a pitcher. We were both pitchers.
It's amazing how many dual sport athletes at Nebraska, before they made their choice, were pitchers. It's a weird thing. Chancellor Brewington, same story. Of course, his dad was a major league pitcher before he came to Nebraska and became a football player and gave that thing up. But I'm always fascinated between the line between the two sports and being able to identify traits that kind of cross over. I like to joke that I was choosing between wrestling and basketball, and then I figured out that I could eat during basketball. And so I was like, hey, man, easy decision. I'll take the win and not have to worry about it. Lenny, you said a thing that height was your reason why you chose wrestling over football. How tall are you?
6 foot.
True story. True story.
I'm 5'9".
Now, but we also understand. So your walk around, you wrestle at 174. What's your walk around weight general?
If I'm not
out of season,
doing what I'm supposed to be, probably like 200.
Right. So here's the thing. What did you play when you played football? What position?
I was a running back and a linebacker.
Listen, Coach Rule, I'm just telling you. Tall is not the problem with Nebraska football. There's some toughness required to do this thing. Silas, you ever have that calling to call Coach Bolt and say, hey man, let me come down and throw batting practice?
Oh my gosh, man. I honestly love baseball so much. Like sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, I'm always thankful for my decision. I don't regret it because wrestling, it has a way of shaping you and molding you. I guess like the fact you have to embrace toughness every single day in a room's a grind. Like you never go in and have an easy practice. It's always a grind, always working hard, always developing, and it's always tough. Like, you just got to choose it. you know, and the best guys choose it every single day. So I'm very thankful for that decision, because I don't think baseball would have made me the same man that I am. But man, when I see those baseball guys with their plates full of food and getting soft serve ice cream and chocolate milk, dude, I get so jealous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm over here with chicken breasts and rice, and I'm like, gosh darn it, dude. Why did I do this? Why?
You chose it. You chose it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, you know, there's that thing. It's always fascinating to me that the discipline required to do what you do at the highest level, and then to push to elite, because there's a difference between being a D1 athlete, being a Big Ten academic All-American, then to put yourself in a position where you're competing for Big Ten titles, national awards, and then national rankings. How do you choose? I mean, the focus that's required, because in most 98% of the wrestlers in America in your weight class will not have the success you have. But you still drive for that nth percentage. And it does it get frustrating, or is it worth it?
Well, it's definitely worth it, that's for sure. And definitely also gets frustrating because, you know, competing at like this high of a level, like guys could be ranked number 25 in the country or not ranked at all and still have the potential to beat like the number 1 guy. And that still goes for like the top 5, top 10 guys. And like a lot of people will like see you take a few losses and like start criticizing you. But at like the end of the day, it's about, I made one small minor mistake that changed the entire match, that these people like just don't understand that, like, because then it makes you look separated from this. But like at the end of the day, like everybody has the potential to be a national champion at this level. So it's like obviously like I'm going to still inch towards it, because like the goal of wrestling is I'm going to win a national championship. Like I'm not coming here to win a few matches, you know. Anything I do, like I'm doing it to win and be on the top of the podium. So yeah,
it's tough, you know. One of the truest things I've ever heard about our sport is that you get nothing that you deserve. You have to take it. You know, it doesn't matter how many extra workouts that I put in. Doesn't matter, you know, how disciplined I am throughout the week in regards to my weight cut, stuff like that. Like guys aren't going to say, hey, he trained harder than me this week, I'm going to let him have this match. Like you have to go out and take everything that you feel like you deserve. So there's no amount of work that you can do that's going to make the match any easier. You know, it's just, I guess, the mental edge you get from putting in the extra work. Like that's the trick.
They say that matchups make the meet. But I'll ask you, do you care who you're wrestling? Aren't you competing against yourself truly? That, you know, diet, nutrition, rest, recovery, all of those things, that you can get caught up in the rankings and the seedings. But once the whistle blows, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to beat Lenny or Silas but you, right? I mean, isn't that a statement of truth?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could think back to several moments right now where it's like in my mind, like I know if I made one small difference in this certain match 3 years ago, I could have won that match, and it still haunts me. But people don't see that side of things.
100%.
I mean, do you mentioned, you know, what people say after a match, and you have a bad night. Listen, most people go to work and if they make a mistake and have a bad night, nobody knows. For you, your bad night is in front of, you know, 7,000 people, and you know that you had a tough day. Do you pay much attention to social media? Is that at this level? Do you read the comments at all?
Can't.
Yeah, no, I would say that's also comes with just like being like, being like a professional, you know, like you have to be able to understand that these people are just watching from an outsider's view and just giving their opinions, and like you have to be able to keep your head on straight and just continue moving forward, because it's a long season, you know, it's a 2-semester season, so you always got to be pushing forward.
I think the big thing too is like we can't expect people to understand. You know, like there's very few people, you know, and not to be vain, but in the world who get like what we do and understand like the level that we're doing it at. So for us to look at their comments or the remarks they make and really give any merit to them or any value is, I mean, it's pointless, right? Where again, that comes with like that mental toughness, that mental edge, that maturity, where it's like it doesn't matter what they think, what they say. Same with like the ranking stuff. Doesn't matter what the rankers say, because that's still just someone's opinion, you know. So none of that stuff matters. It's just you just got to show up and show out. You know, that's the simple truth to it. I mean, I remember when it first came out that me and Lenny were both dropping a weight class. Like I saw it I saw it online, and there was like people, what are they doing? They're so ridiculous. Like Silas is too big. Lenny, he's gonna struggle with his gas tank. Like all this stuff, and it's like they don't see the discipline. They don't see the steady cut. They don't see the process that went into it. Like they don't get it.
That literally is on the text line, and we have a bunch of questions and comments that we'll get to in the next segment. But Eric literally asked, "Can you explain your decision to go to lower weight classes this season?" And it's not, you're not making a decision that's going to hurt you.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
And nobody commenting about your weight cut or your weight class knows you. Like they know you in a way that you're making a decision. You know your body, you know the mentality required, you know the disciplines required. So in your decision, when it comes up, you being side by side and making that choice, what comes to mind for you?
All right. So my view of the story is, in fact, I actually wasn't really planning on going down to 74. So I got back from summer, and I talked to the coaches about it last year, like before summer, about going 74 for the world team trials.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up backing out of that like a week earlier. I was like, going into summer, I don't really want to make this cut that I haven't done in 5 years. I was like, I think I'm gonna just wrestle 189.
Yeah.
So I stayed there, and then by the time I came back from summer, I was a little heavy. And the coaches pulled me aside after like a few days of practice, and they're like, "Hey, like you're gonna go 74." And I didn't even think about it. Like my initial response was, "All right, absolutely. Like if that's what's best for the team, like I'm on it starting today." So I just immediately hopped on the train of, well, I'm dropping to 74. Started looking at all the positive aspects of it, of being in a whole new category of guys that I've never fought before, and like they've never wrestled me. So it's exciting. It's not like I'm restarting, but it is kind of like a fresh start in college. 2 years in, going down to a whole new category. So it's really exciting. And yeah.
You feel good about it?
I feel great about it, actually, especially after these first few weeks. I'm like, and everyone, I don't know if there's questions about it that we might get to about how it's going, but I feel like I wanted to get to a point at 74 and live the same lifestyle I was at 84. And I'm already there. So I'm not even struggling with weight. I'm still doing my thing in the kitchen. So
that was the next thing. Silas, what about you?
Yeah. So, Lenny's awesome, man. He's a tough man, but this kind of was initiated by me, I would say. Is that fair?
Yeah, because you kept asking me questions, and and in the summer I was like, "Oh no, bro. I guess we'll see what happens with the coaches and what they say."
So yeah, there was I've it was just this summer I was very honest with myself. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't think that I've done enough. Like I thought I was working really hard. I thought I was doing the things I needed to do to be great. And, truthfully, I was like, I'm not, I thought I was working hard, but I wasn't. So this summer I really bought into like transforming myself and like, what can I do? How can I change myself? How can I be the best version of myself possible? I think that's the ultimate goal of any wrestler is like, yeah, we want to win. Like winning's great. But if your goal is to win every single match, you're going to try to protect the win. You're going to try to save it. You're going to wrestle on your heels a little bit, like, especially when the going gets tough. So for me, it was beyond winning and losing. It was like, how great can I be? And, the only way to figure it out is to do the work. So this summer I started really doing the work. I bought into a diet, and I mean, you can ask Lenny, you can ask anyone on the team. It was all I talked about for forever was like my diet. Like I weigh every single meal. I mean, super, super locked in on it. And just completely transformed my body. And I felt great. And 184 seemed super realistic. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep dropping. And I did, and I feel really good about it. I still feel strong. I don't feel like I've lost any strength. I mean, like Lenny said, this is his first time being that small in 5 years. It's my first time being in the 80s since I was 15 years old. So I mean, it's something that, like, again, I wouldn't do it if I thought it was a detriment. Like, it makes our team, I think, better. Like, I mean, Camden McDaniel at 197, he's a stud. I think he's only going to get better. So, like, our overall team dynamic now, I think, is just so good. So I'm excited about it. I'm pumped. I think it's awesome.
Lots to talk about. And again, the beauty of these shows and of course the curse. There's zero chance that we can get all of our questions into these guys in an hour. There's no chance. So when we go to break, I'll work on getting them around more often. DP, Lenny Pinto, Silas Allred, Takedown Tuesdays. We'll go to the text line. Stay busy on it. We'll get those questions out to the fellas. And then we will talk to them about NIL and what we can do to support and help them as well. Takedown Tuesdays on the ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
You know, Raiola and Holgerson, I'm sure, have had plenty of one-on-one meetings. We're going to close the door behind us, and I'm going to say, hey, what did you like from this offense? What did you not like? You know, Raiola knows at the end of the day what's really going on with this offense. To be honest, that's what needs to catapult this offense. And this whole team is Raiola's play. You know, Sat's philosophy and Raiola's philosophy or Raiola's skill set just didn't match. I think this is going to match Raiola, and it's going to allow for his skill set to come out.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, welcome back. Takedown Tuesdays. Lenny Pinto, Silas Allred from Husker Wrestling. Every Tuesday from 4 to 5 o'clock, we'll be able to bring these young men to you. And we were talking, when it comes to wrestling, a big part of it is diet and discipline. And we're trying to find, one, what the success formula is. And I love hearing these wrestlers talk about how they what they consume and what the thinking behind it is. And then once I have some understanding, then immediately my brain goes into overdrive that there are people here in Lincoln who can help you do that. And shout out to the folk, my buddy Dan Swanson. I was just on the phone with him from Canopy Street Market. We're going to hook you up down there so you guys can go down and get good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Don't worry, Coach
Thank
Manning.
you.
Don't worry. I'm not telling them to go down and get chips. They've got a nice deli down there, fresh cut meat, and some pretty good meals as well. But let's go through. You said that you're, even in a midweek coming off a duel, you're at a half pound overweight. That's crazy to walk around with that kind of discipline. So let's make all of us fat guys in Lincoln happy by telling us what you're eating. So at least we have a shot, to be in the neighborhood.
I'll go into what I'm doing, but Silas will be a lot better for this topic as he is real good with meal prepping and eating healthy.
Yeah.
I don't like to overcomplicate my diet because, I really do enjoy food. There was a whole segment on me on Big Ten, about all this food stuff.
Oh, we're getting to that. Yes, we are.
No, but honestly, like I told you earlier, I just made the first cut down to 74. I cut out all the snacking and all the unnecessary foods, and I just started eating healthy. And as soon as I got to 74, I just figured I'm gonna just keep doing what I was doing. So I stayed at 74. And the coaches do a really good schedule. We'll take before wrestle-offs of like us making certain weights like a few weeks prior.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of floating down there at like 75 to like 79. And I just stayed there. And now I think my body just regulated itself because like today, 4 days out, I'm already 174 and a half. So, and I had a good lunch. I'm going to eat good tonight. Like, I hope people don't think I'm malnourished because I'm certainly not.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to meal? Like the things you eat most in a week?
Well, my house, we have a Traeger, so I love to smoke steaks. That's my biggest thing. That cowboy ribeye from Hy-Vee, my favorite. Do that a lot. And I don't really cut out things like butter or nothing like that. I just keep it simple because if I start overcomplicating that, I already got so much to worry about on the wrestling mat and on the mental side of that. So I just try to find a balance of eating healthy but also enjoying my food,
Vegetables of choice. What do you use?
I like all vegetables, actually.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I like squash, carrots. Yeah.
You just lost half the folks. They're like, they were with you, Lenny. They were there.
Put some butter on these carrots or something. I don't know.
Hey, Silas, what's your go-to? Because he said you're the master of this thing. So meal prep. Walk me through meal prep for you.
So typically I meal prep on Sundays. We usually compete on Friday, and then like this weekend we have a Saturday tournament, so we'll compete on Saturday. And then Sunday I meal prep for like 2 to 3 hours. I got an Instapot. It's my best friend. I'll meal prep about 3 pounds of chicken, and I'll meal prep about 3 pounds of like a chuck roast. And then I prep out of my meals. I eat 5 times a day. So
you're a hero.
So
you're a hero. Listen, crown him now. 5. Okay. I mean, people would love to hear. I mean, they tell you to eat more small meals.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But you're eating smart. So the roast chicken, what are you putting with it to hold you down?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just run you through a day, basically how my day goes. So I wake up in the morning at 7:30. I start my day with a protein shake. I do protein, banana, a little bit of peanut butter. It's like a 600 calorie shake. Like I track everything. And then post practice, I have 7 ounces of cooked chicken, a cup of rice, and a cup of vegetables. And then meal number 3, I'll have it around like 2 o'clock. So post practice is like 11. At 2 o'clock, I'll have 6 ounces of like a shredded beef or some kind of beef, like a lean beef. I'll have another like 2/3 of a cup of rice, or basically like 30 grams of carbs. So that's the macros on it. And then another cup of vegetables. 4th meal of the day will be with this one's like the one that's a little more free. I kind of have whatever I want. Sometimes it'll be like hard-boiled eggs and fruit if I need something fast, or it'll be like chicken if I have extra chicken, whatever, and some fruit. But my only carbs for that meal is fruit. So it's like protein and fruit. And then at night before I go to bed, I have a 5-ounce salmon fillet with a little bit more fruit.
What time do you go to bed?
So that I'll eat that meal at like 8:30, and then I'll be like laying down trying to sleep by 11. I'll be in bed by like 9:30 or 10 though.
These workouts and the timing of it matters, right? So you've coordinated meal needs, body nutrition and nourishment. Recovery is important. So what if I use the word recovery for you in the life of a wrestler, a high level Division I powerhouse top 5 wrestler? What's the rest and recovery? Because the workout, your wrestling practices are just insane. So what's recovery for you? Is it mental? Is it physical? What's recovery?
I'll tell you what, in the sport of wrestling, we don't really get much recovery. So like my recovery is like a day off, but even our day offs ain't really a day off. It's like going and do something light for 30 minutes and just get your heart rate up a little bit. So just being able to not have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning to get to practice.
Yeah.
That's an off day for me. Being able to go in at like 2 and just do like a 30-minute cardio, come home, hang out, just chill.
Yeah.
And, recovery is a lot of shout out Weeda. He's great. He's our trainer. Anything we need, like some dry needling or just scraping or just tips on stretching and being able to get into the cold tub and hot tub and just simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really not too much of that. It's just here and there because too much recovery, I think it makes you weak. So
no, it's weird. There's
dog.
No,
dog.
There's so much truth. It's crazy. If we get 3 or 4 days off, when we come back from a Christmas break, you think we'd come back and feel awesome?
Yeah.
Those first 2 practices are awful.
Yeah.
It's terrible. When we have extended periods of time off from training, it's actually more of a detriment to us than it is helpful. There's some merit to having a day off here and there, having a day off, then maybe a little bit lighter workout, with not as much alive, stuff like that. But extended periods of time off, for me personally, I don't know if Lenny's the same, but when I come back from training, I feel worse training. It's it almost gives my body time to get inflamed and to feel sore because I'm not thinking about having to work out. So yeah, recovery for us is it's active recovery. Even our recovery days, I'll go in, I'll do 30 to 40 minutes of a cardio workout, get a really, really good stretch in, and it's active recovery. There's really no sit around, do nothing to recover.
Do you ever reach 100% in body
during season? No shot. I mean,
no.
It's not a thing. You just gotta. I mean, if we're at 85, 90%, that's incredible. There's just, but it's weird. You get used to it. You'll go in on a day and you'll feel really, really good. But there's something that's always bugging you. It's our bodies, we're always kind of there's something worn down, knee, elbow, shoulder, joint stuff. It's just, but it's part of it. You really just get used to it.
You spend the week in Carolina, I think that would be marked as success. Technical falls all over the place and finding your way. How do you get through that? The back-to-back matches, does that carry over from high school tournament type wrestling? Do you wrestle better becoming the machine and having matches back-to-back, or would you prefer one match a day?
Honestly, for me, I would say what helps with that is our training staff and our coaches.
Yeah.
I just think they're absolutely the best. They told us in advance to that travel weekend last week in Carolina, they said there's going to be some adversity, we're going to go onto a baseball field, wrestle, and we have to jump in vans. Half the team left early to drive an hour to UNC. Mm-hmm. And then the other half had to finish wrestling and then get in the vans directly after the matches, all sweaty, drive another hour to another good team and wrestle them an hour away. And they just warned us about it. And they said, look, there's going to be controversy and adversity throughout the whole season. So why not deal with it a little bit early and just get a feel for it? So we were honestly all pumped going into it because we knew what was going and it was going to be tough. So we just embraced it. And also last year, you never know what's going to happen. Last year at Big Tens, I think there was a power outage.
Mm-hmm.
So guys didn't,
2 years ago.
Yeah. So guys couldn't shower with hot water or, no lights that they couldn't charge their phones. There's always going to be something that's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So just being able to realize that and just embrace it no matter what, just helps you get through it. Because if you're going to sit there and complain about this and that, then your mind's already going backwards. But if you just embrace it and just move forward, you already got the advantage because somebody else is probably talking negatively about it. So we just embraced it and said, yeah, let's hop in a minivan, drive an hour and beat some more butt.
Well, talk to me about wrestling outdoors.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta you gotta do it right. Like, it was a really, really awesome idea, but the execution was just very poor. Like the fact you don't have like some kind of layer of insulation under the mat, it's directly on the baseball field. So the mat's really cold. Then once you get hot bodies on it, there's so much condensation that forms, like guys sliding all over the place, zero traction. Like it's just, it's really not safe.
Right.
So yeah, after 3 matches, I mean, they had to roll all the mats up. We had to walk. I mean, it wasn't far. It was like a 5-minute walk to this building, re-roll all the mats out, get all the camera equipment set up. Like it was kind of a nightmare. Like, I mean, talk again of adversity. Like we already had to get through the duel, to get to the next duel. So like there's already that going on. But then on top of it, our duel gets stopped halfway through. They had to completely change the schedule. So instead of an intermission, the next 7 matches were just rolling straight through. Like, I mean, it was all over the place. But again, it's like Lenny said it, like the beautiful thing with our sport is like every single day we deal with adversity. We deal with, uncertainty and challenges, and you got to learn to embrace it and overcome it. So it's just another day for us. Like it is what it is. Got to figure it out. Getting
the reports was just insane. I was holding my face just trying to figure out. Before we go to break, we have a texter that says, I can only listen for a few more minutes. Do you have any recommendations on how to get their son into wrestling camps and such, especially in the area? Any suggestions? Husker wrestling camp, high school wrestling camps? What do you suggest?
I mean, the biggest thing that I would say is just try it and put like no weight on it. Just make it fun. Like it's hard. Like that's just it's the unfortunate part about the sport, and that's why it doesn't gain a ton of tractions because it's difficult. But the things that you can learn from the sport are so awesome. Like it can teach you so much about yourself. Like there's just it's funny, but it's a beautiful thing, So that's why I really love it. I run workouts out here at a wrestling club. It's called Hawks Club. So if ever wants to come by, he can come by. It's over in South Lincoln. It's called Hawks Training Center. So I run workouts there. So if he wants to come by, I'll coach him up.
There we go.
Come out. So there you go.
There we go. We'll throw it to break. When we come back, final segment with these guys. Listen, we want you to reach out to them as well and support Husker Wrestling. And there's several ways to do it. I'll have them tell you how to find them on social media, how to find them on 1890 so that we can get them support and let them. We're going to ask them, if they could steal one trait from one of their teammates, what would that be? Not that they need anything, but we certainly will ask DP Lenny Pinto. Silas Allred, Takedown Tuesdays on the Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see increasing cloud cover throughout the day. It'll be breezy too, with a high around 52. Tonight, decreasing clouds and a continued breeze with a low near 32. And tomorrow, we'll see sunny skies. It'll be windy though, with a high around 48. Meteorologist Kyle Plecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering an amazing Black Friday sale for all ticket listeners. You will get the Winter 10-Week Challenge for 40% off and get all of December for free. Start your transformation before the new year arrives. And at the end of the 10-week challenge, someone's walking away with $1,000. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine, and online at fxblincoln.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'll apologize in advance because we did not get their walkout music. Next time you're here, we're listen. You need to have your like the one you walk out to. Did they allow you to choose it?
Yeah.
Lenny, what are you walking out to?
My walkout might be a little too hectic for for like a radio station, but mine's what is mine? It's like the instrumental of some hardcore rock band, just some crazy drum guitar solo.
We can work around that.
Oh, it's freaking it's Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that's easily done.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Silas, what do you walk out to?
So mine's a little more unique. So I talked about my dad being a huge fan of wrestling, stuff like that. So he actually passed away a few years ago from ALS. So, but growing up, my dad rapped. So I walk out to one of his songs.
Okay. So now we have to find that.
Yeah.
You have to share that with us.
It's on Apple Music.
Oh, we got to do that. See, I'm a pro wrestling guy, through and through, and UFC as well. As a matter of fact, I was just in New York for John Jones and the watch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I pay attention to it and let the folks know. You just told us a thing that wrestling doesn't travel by charter. You're on public flights. What is happening?
Yeah. I mean,
do you fly from Lincoln or do you fly from Omaha?
We did fly from Lincoln last week, so that was nice.
That's a treat though. Usually it's Omaha.
Right, because you can't get direct to most of the places you're going to travel to.
Uh-huh.
So this weekend, going to Annapolis, what do you do?
we
sure.
we wake up at 7:30. We come work out, and then we leave at 9:15 to make an 11:30 flight out of Omaha. We stop in Chicago for an hour, and then we fly to Ronald Reagan, and then we drive 2 hours from Ronald Reagan to Annapolis.
So you're flying into my hometown. You're flying in 8 minutes from my house.
Well, there you go.
But 2 flights to wrestle. Come on, man. Come on,
man. I told you we're grimy, man. We get after.
I get it, but come on, we got to do better. So all the listeners, listen. I want you to do two things. One, you need to make sure you're following Husker Wrestling on all social media, 1890 as well. But you need to find both of these young men, give them a follow, and then we're going to work for donations and to make sure that through NIL, some of our corporate sponsors or our partners actually support these young men. But Lenny, let them know how to find you and how to support you through NIL.
My Instagram handle is just Lenny_Pinto1, and that's that's probably the best way to contact me.
Yeah, you have a profile on 1890 as well, so folks.
No, I don't got none of that stuff.
Lenny.
Yeah, I know. I'm so focused on winning the national title. I'm not worried.
Listen, I love
now.
every bit of it. Trust me, the money will find you.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, the money will find you. Silas, let them know how to find you.
Yeah, so social media on Instagram, I'm just Silas_Allred. I have an X account too. I think it's Silas Allred, just straight up. So either one of those are great. My wife actually handles a lot of my social media through the season. I like to be disconnected from it and just focus on what I do. So she does a lot of that for me, which is awesome. Superstar. Shout out her. But yeah, I think I do have an 1890 profile. So you can find me there too.
It's going to be a thing. I can tell you that we in fact will make a donation for you guys to do it simply. And then I'm an accountability person. So I'll say this to you to offer and with full support from Mark Manning, of course, to do so. But this fan base wants to hear from you. They want to hear from you, and you're both really good radio. So we're gonna work that out. And I don't care what time you guys, again, discipline. It could be after season because I want you to go get your chip.
Yep.
I don't want to be a distraction, and I don't want that to happen. I want you to focus on first things first. But when you're ready, come have these conversations. It can be off season. It could be, it could be you and your wife. It could be there's tons of things that we can do to allow folks for you to be a reminder to take care of Nebraska wrestling. You guys can't be treated like second-class citizens.
Now we get a lot of, we do get a lot of stuff to be grateful for.
No, again, I mean, there's perspective. Like we could sit and throw a pity party because we don't get the same treatment as other teams, but the reality is we are still so fortunate. Like we got everything that we need and more. A coaching staff that not only develops us, but they care about us and they love us. Teammates who help build an awesome culture. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. This is awesome. I don't care if I fly commercial the rest of my career. It's not that deep. I'm not that entitled. Like I love what we do. I think it's awesome. We're, again, very fortunate.
This is why your fan base loves you the way that they do, and greatly appreciate it. Finally, before we got 30 seconds. You could steal one talent from a teammate.
Ridge's top game, his cradle ability.
Yeah. Silas?
I want Brock Hardy's flexibility. I want to be able to bend like that. It's beautiful. I don't know how he does it.
Keeps you out of trouble. Hey, I'll never say these words again. Beat Navy.
Let's go. Come on.
I'll never say it again. Lenny Pinto, Silas Allred. Takedown Tuesdays on the ticket. Don't go anywhere. Teammates Tuesday. Des Moines and Ash are coming in. And integrity and trust. That's where they're going to start. That's where they're focused. Teammates Mentoring Hour coming up. 93.7 The Ticket. Deuce.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3